This podcast contains disturbing themes and unsettling content that may be unsuitable for sensitive listeners. Proceed at your own risk. And remember, once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Good grim mornings, everybody, and today we are stepping into the shadows of one of the most chilling places in Los Angeles, the Cecil Hotel, a hotel that for nearly a century has been a silent witness to tragedy, crime, and death. But what if I told you that beneath all of this lies something even darker, something no one can explain? From suicides to serial killers, and most famously, the mysterious disappearance of Elisa Lam, the Cecil has a reputation for being a magnet for the paranormal and the supernatural. But is it simply a place with an unlucky past, or is there something much more sinister at play? Let's rewind. The Cecil Hotel opened its doors in 1924, built in downtown LA as a luxury hotel designed to attract wealthy businessmen. It had all the trappings of a glamorous getaway: marble floors, lavish decor, and a grand lobby. But that glamour didn't last long. As the Great Depression hit in the late 1920s, the hotel's status quickly changed. The Cecil, like many other buildings at the time, became a budget hotel catering for transient guests, many of who were struggling with personal demons at that time. And then the deaths began. By the 1940s, the hotel had earned a dark reputation. Witnesses reported strange occurrences, flickering lights, rooms where guests claimed to hear inexplicable noises, and the feeling of being watched. But the hotel's real notoriety came from the rising number of suicides. In 1931, a guest named W.K. Norton was found dead in his room from an apparent overdose. His suicide was the first, but sadly not the last. In 1940, Pauline Auden leaped from a ninth-floor window, landing on a pedestrian below and killing both herself and the unfortunate bystander. The tragedy was so violent that the details of the scene became infamous: death crashing into death. But what if these deaths weren't just random acts of desperation? Witnesses, including hotel employees, reported a strange energy in the air. Could it be possible that the hotel's dark history, its very walls, had absorbed the suffering of those who checked in? Was there something supernatural at play? As the 1970s rolled in, the hotel's reputation took another turn, becoming a place known for its transient, often homeless residents, many of whom were just passing through or trying to escape some dark reality of their own. But there was something else lingering in those hallways, something even more dangerous. In the 1980s, the Cecil found itself connected to one of the most notorious serial killers in American history, Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. Ramirez, who terrorized Southern California with a string of brutal murders, stayed at the Cecil Hotel during his killing spree. He was known to walk through the halls in a daze, his eyes wild with madness, even as the police were closing in on him. Staff at the hotel claimed that he came and went without much fanfare, and he was often seen dirty and unkempt. A far cry from the Night Stalker persona that terrified the public. In fact, it wasn't even uncommon for guests to notice strange behavior and disturbing energy around him. But Richard Ramirez wasn't the only killer to have stayed at the hotel. The Cecil's long history of attracting the lost and dangerous continued to grow darker and darker. And then we come to 2013, to the disappearance of Elisa Lam, the event that truly sealed the Cecil Hotel's place in modern horror lexicon. On January 26 of 2013, Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student, checked into the Cecil Hotel while traveling solo. It was supposed to be an innocent trip to LA, but no one could have predicted what would unfold. On January 31st of 2013, after several days without contact, Eliza was reported missing by the hotel staff. Her family had last spoken to her through the phone, and she seemed perfectly fine. But she was last seen on the hotel security cameras, and what happened next was completely baffling. The elevator footage that surfaced showed Eliza entering the elevator, pressing all of the buttons, and then as if she was being watched or chased. Stepping in and out of the elevator, she appeared to be talking to someone or something off camera, but no one else was in the elevator with her. The footage quickly went viral and it left viewers with a haunting question. Was Eliza's behavior the result of something psychological, or was she reacting to forces we can't explain? Alright guys, before we dive deeper into the mystery of the Cecil Hotel, I've got a little announcement about something super exciting happening with the Crime Mama Collective right now. My girl Laura is coming back next month to launch her own podcast called Wicked Crime Wednesday. That is right. Every Wednesday, starting in February, Laura is going to be taking you on a deep dive into true crime cases you won't believe. Cases so twisted, they'll leave your jaw on the floor. But she's not stopping there. She's also bringing in her own unique spin of combining astrology with crime. So you'll not only be getting the juicy details of every crime in full description, but also a cosmic insights of the personalities behind the crimes. It's going to be a wild ride, and I cannot wait to see what she has in store and to go over all these amazing cases she has. And as for me, I will be taking a step back from the podcast to start working on the Married to the Mystery, which is mine and my husband's paranormal investigation team here in Savannah, Georgia. But trust me, I'm still keeping up an eye on everything behind the scenes and will be managing all of the action on our Facebook page and Patreon pages. Unfortunately, we do know that TikTok is having a ban right now. A lot of our followers are on TikTok right now, but please head over to our Facebook pages. My personal one is on there. We have Married to the Mystery, the Crime Mama Collective group page, and also our Crime Mama Collective normal Facebook page as well, where we are going to be putting out more content than you guys will ever see. So if you guys are enjoying our content right now, we don't want to lose you guys on TikTok, but unfortunately we have no control what the government does with stuff. So head over to Facebook, go and follow us, because we have some exciting things coming up next month that you guys do not want to miss. Now let's get back to the spine-chilling story of the Cecil Hotel. When Eliza Lam's body was discovered in the water tank, the discovery was beyond strange. It was terrifying. The tank was on the rooftop, completely sealed off with a locked metal hatch. The lid of the tank, weighing around 20 pounds, would have been nearly impossible for someone to lift without considerable effort, especially if they were in the state of distress Eliza appeared to be in when she was last seen on security footage. And here's something even stranger. Hotel staff didn't hear any unusual sounds. No banging, no screams. It seemed as if Eliza's body had just been placed there silently, as though she had been willingly climbed into the tank. But that doesn't explain everything. Guests had been complaining about low water pressure and a strange taste to their water before the body discovered. When they finally checked the tank, they found Eliza's body submerged in the water in an advanced state of decomposition. Her clothes were still on her body, and her body showed signs of being stuck in the tank for days, if not longer. How could someone so small, so unassuming have gotten up there without anyone noticing? Was this the real result of a tragic mental breakdown, or is there something more sinister happening in the hotel's dark corners? As the investigation into Eliza's death continued, more questions arose than answers. Let's break down the possible theories that have emerged over the years. The first theory, and the most widely circulated one, points to mental illness. Eliza had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and it's speculated that her actions in the elevator may have been a result of a psychotic episode. The strange behavior she exhibited, pressing multiple buttons, hiding in and out of the elevator, could be signs of someone who was experiencing a breakdown. Some believe she may have been accidentally found her way to the roof, either in a state of confusion or paranoia, and climbed into the water tank unaware of the consequences. But not everyone is convinced this was a mental health crisis. The paranormal theories are hard to ignore. The hotel's haunted reputation, with its long history of tragedy, leads to many to wonder, could Eliza have been influenced by something otherworldly? Was she drawn into the tank by spirits? Or was she simply a victim of a building that had absorbed the negative energy of decades of death and despair? Some believe the Cecil Hotel itself is cursed. There are reports of strange energy in the hallways, ghostly apparitions in the corners of the buildings, and many say they feel a presence when walking through the hotel's eerie, empty corridors. Could Eliza have been affected by the very building she stayed in? Its dark histories infecting her mind and ultimately leading to her untimely death. The most chilling part of the case is the fact that no one heard Eliza scream for help. No one saw her climb to the roof. No one witnessed her entering the tank, not even the hotel staff or the residents on the rooftop. It's as though her presence wasn't noticed at all. The theory surrounding Eliza's death brings us to something much darker. The Cecil Hotel, as we've discussed, has been tied to serial killers, suicides, and violent deaths for decades. Many believe that the energy in this building is far from normal. Even paranormal investigators, guests, and former staff have reported unsettling experiences. Objects moving on their own, cold spots, and disembodied voices echoing through the hallways. Could Elisa Lam have encountered something paranormal that night? Something that led her to climb into that tank, or perhaps something more sinister led her there. Some believe that the spirits of the hotel's past residents could have affected her mental state, guiding her to the tank or even trapping her there. There are those who think the hotel is haunted by the powerful force, ones that have been feeding off the pain and tragedy that has occurred within its walls for decades. In Eliza's case, they believe they may have been the latest chapter of the hotel's dark story. To this day, Eliza Lam's death remains an unsolved mystery, with no definitive answers. Was it a tragic mental breakdown, or was it something more? Could there be more to this case than we'll ever know? Eliza's final days at the Cecil Hotel raise more questions than any answers, and despite the police investigation, we still don't have the desperate answers we are looking for. And when you dig deeper into the hotel's dark history, you have to wonder, could Eliza have been the latest victim in a long line of tragedies tied to the Cecil Hotel? Or was she just an unfortunate traveler who ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time? We may never know the truth behind Eliza Lam's death, whether it was a result of a tragic accident, a mental health episode, or something far darker that's tied to the hotel's haunted past. But one thing that is for sure, the Cecil Hotel continues to draw in the lost, the broken, and the curious. It was a place where the past never truly leaves, and where the shadows of its history still linger, waiting to claim the next soul that dares to enter. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and remember, see, we can't even talk right now. I will let you guys know we were supposed to be getting this launched out way earlier today. My child did not go to bed until 6 o'clock this morning, so we are thriving, not surviving. But other than that, this is Kaylee, and I am so excited to be doing Grim Mornings with you guys. Like I said, go follow us on Facebook right now because we have no clue what's happening with TikTok. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day.